Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Sultanate is ranked 16th among the fastest growing tourist destinations as per the United Nations World Tourism Organization. Eighteen physicians are taking part in the competition of Oman Medical Specialty Board. The Shura Council office discusses ministerial responses on the percentage of the contribution of free zones in gross domestic product and classified private sector companies. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. The Sultanate achieved a new accomplishment in the touristic field as it has been ranked 16th among the fastest growing tourism destinations in the world according to World Tourism Organization. Here's a report.
The Sultanate of Oman, a country that combines enchanting greenery and golden deserts, which are intertwined with the culture of the unique Omani human being. As per the United Nations World Tourism Organization, the Sultanate is ranked 16th among the fastest growing tourism destinations in the world, ahead of countries such as Romania and after Colombia. The Sultanate was the only GCC and Arab country to appear in this list, thanks to the Sultanate's richness in cultural and archaeological tourist attractions, as well as excellent services offered to the tourists. The number of tourists visiting the Sultanate increased from 891,000 in 2005 to 1.78 million visitors in 2015, a growth of 17% compared to 2014 figure. As per the monthly bulletin issued by the National Center for Statistics and Information, the number of 3- to 5-star hotel guests stood at around 965,000 by the end of October 2015. The Sultanate of Oman is characterized by a variety of natural greenish sceneries, mountains, charming beaches, historical forts and castles, in addition to serenity, peace, modesty and warm hospitality of Omanis to the visitors. During the past years, Oman enhanced the tourism sector by working on huge projects and building strong infrastructure that contributed in supporting local economy and domestic income.
A number of Omani doctors from various fields participated with the projects in the 6th Annual Research Day. More details in the following report by Sultan bin Saif Al Sarai.
Oman Medical Specialty Board organized the 6th Annual Research Day at Sultan Qaboos University to announce the winners of the research competition of this year.
Research is very well known as a key element in any education, and it is definitely one of the main important items in healthcare services and healthcare deliveries. If we look at around all the researches that have been presented today and have been posted, some of them have been presented locally and have been presented also internationally.
The main aim of this competition is to select the best research project among 18 participated projects, as well as to select the best research poster among 36 posters.
Basically, we studied the case about a patient who came with post-appendicectomy, and he had an impression of intestinal obstruction. So we investigated him, and it turned out that he had a cecal mass. Now, this is an uncommon complication that happens after post-appendicectomy. So basically, our study was, we want to find out if this happens often, and because this complication is often overlooked.
This year's event came under the theme Resident Research Crafting Evidence, and it included lectures on how to conduct the scientific research and the importance of scientific research for resident doctors.
It is basically in patients who are having temporomandibular joint disorders.
which is this joint here, pain and dysfunction, and at the same time they're having retrognathic mandible, which is, I can just explain it fast. This is the retrognathic mandible. If you classify it into three, this is the normal, and this is the retrognathic mandible, and this is prognathic mandible. So as per the studies, it's showing that patients with this type of profile, they're having more problems in the temporomandibular joint.
The main thing about it is it's a way or a tool to treat obesity. So the basic concept of this idea is that fats don't cause obesity. It's the abundance of carbohydrates is the thing that causes obesity.
Oman Medical Specialty Board organizes such events to create the perfect environment to conduct scientific research and studies, and to encourage residents to learn how to conduct the proper research based on standard methodology, which eventually will help doctors in their career. Number of doctors competed in the 6th term of this competition in order to enrich medical field knowledge in the Sultanate through various projects. Sultan bin Saif al-Sarai from Sultan Qaboos University, Muscat.
And to shed light on this competition, we have from Oman Medical Specialty Board on air Dr. Yusuf bin Ahmed Al-Wishahi, Director of Continuous Professional Development Department. Good evening, Dr. Yusuf Al-Wishahi. Welcome to the news.
Good evening to you, and thank you for inviting me to talk.
Thank you. Doctor, what's the importance of this competition?
This competition comes in its 6th edition under the logo Resident Research Crafting Evidence. And the importance is that it is a conclusion of the academic work in the area of research for 18 different residency training programs. Those 18 different residency programs have around 600 residents. They start from the year one, learning about how to conduct research, scientific research, and then they go through the projects themselves. They collect data and they analyze data and come to conclusions. And this is the time when they compete with the full projects in order to win the first places in this competition. It's also a celebration of our partnership with all the agencies and with colleges and universities that help us with this research. It's also, at the same time, a venue to bring all of those concerned with the research, especially health research in this country, to talk and to negotiate and to network and to think about the future of research that we could help with.
Great. Doctor, as we know, 18 physicians are taking part in the competition. Are there any specific standards to select the competitors?
Of course, the standards usually touches on two main areas: the quality of the project itself and the structure of the presentation, whether it's poster presentation or an oral presentation. So there are strict criteria that these residents have to present their projects within. All these projects actually are winning projects within the programs themselves. So they start with their own projects within each residency training program. We're talking about residents between 20 and 100 in each program. They compete with each other and they choose the best research to be presented during this day with, again, the same criteria. We would like always during this event to present the best of the best research.
Is there any strategy based upon a competition to develop medical performance of these competitors?
Of course, we believe that research is an important pillar of the development of these doctors, because research informs decisions when it comes to the clinical practice. If it's clinical research. If it is basic science research, it also helps us in understanding the disease processes. If it is public-oriented research, it helps us understand more about the phenomena in the entire public domain. If it is a system-oriented research, it helps us understand the system itself and develop or improve our understanding and how to intervene for the best quality of healthcare we aim at the end.
Thank you. My last question is how Oman Medical Specialty Board is to benefit from the winning researchers?
The winning researches usually are research that is published, and that is publicity for the organization at both the national arena and the international arena. It is a tool that we could use to develop changes in the way we practice medicine. If the research is strong and help inform the decisions about certain practices, especially contextualized practices, and it is a way to attract more collaborators actually. And it's a good for our reputation at the both national and regional and international arenas.
That was Dr. Yusuf bin Ahmed Al-Wishahi, Director of Continuous Professional Development Department of Oman Medical Specialty Board. Thank you for joining us. Reviewing the ministerial replies on the status of Al-Nahda Hospital and the percentage of free zones contribution in the gross domestic product were some topics discussed by the Shura office in its meeting today. The session was chaired by His Excellency Khalid bin Hilal Al-Ma'wali, Chairman of Shura Council. The office also discussed classification of private sector's companies, studying of possibility of establishing comparative specialized schools for those of special needs. Education and Research Committee at the Shura Council discussed activation of the role of researchers and ways to support this field from various aspects during its meeting. The committee hosted Dr. Saif bin Abdullah Al-Haddabi, Assistant Secretary General for the Programs and Researchers at the Research Council. The meeting also reviewed challenges facing work plans of the Council in the field of scientific researchers, strategies in this field and mechanisms to achieve research excellence. In order to encourage the young generations to practice date palm frond works and develop this traditional craft industry, the Public Authority for Crafts Industries celebrated the graduation of 21 female trainees. The celebration was held at the Craft Village in the Wilaya of Al-Amrat. The training program was organized in cooperation with Omani Women Association in the Wilaya of Amrat. The trainers underwent a theoretical and practical training. This craft project will be a source of income for the graduates. Still to come in our news bulletin. The Sultanate, represented by the Directorate General of Customs, marked the World Custom Day.
شاركونا في مهرجان مسقط. مهرجان مسقط 2016 ابتداء من 14 من يناير وحتى 13 من فبراير 2016.
Welcome back. Reviewing bilateral relations which joined the Sultanate and Sri Lanka and means of enhancing them in various fields which achieve common concern between both sides, top discussion of His Excellency General Sultan bin Mohammed Al Nu'mani, Minister of Royal Office, with His Excellency Batmantan KM, Ambassador of Sri Lanka to the Sultanate. During the meeting, cordial talks were exchanged. His Excellency General the Minister of Royal Office also received in his office today General Lloyd J. Austin, Commander of the U.S. Central Command, and his accompanying delegation currently visiting the Sultanate. During the meeting, a number of topics of common concern were discussed, in addition to review the march of good bilateral relations between the Sultanate and the U.S., besides discussed a number of mutual concern cases. Reviewing fields of the existing military cooperation between the Sultanate and United States, top discussion of His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Saud bin Harib Al Busaidi, Minister responsible for Defense Affairs, and General Lloyd J. Austin, Commander of the U.S. Central Command, and his delegation currently visiting the Sultanate, which received in his office at Beit al-Falaj camp today. The two sides also discussed several matters of common concern between the two friendly countries. Lieutenant General Ahmed bin Harith al-Nabhani, Chief of Staff of the Sultan's Armed Forces, and General Lloyd J. Austin, Commander of the U.S. Central Command, exchanged points of view and discussed several matters of common concern. The Sultanate, represented by the Directorate General of Customs, marked the World Custom Day, which falls on the 26th of January every year. This year's celebration was organized under the theme, The Digital Customs. The ceremony come to embody the qualitative development in the customs work in the Sultanate, especially in the field of automation of custom works and application of state-of-art technology as to facilitate services provided to the citizens and business community. The celebration, held under the auspices of His Excellency Lieutenant General Hassan bin Mohsen Al-Shiraiqi, Inspector General of Police and Customs, included a visual presentation on Bayan System and Risk Management System. On this occasion, the World Custom Organization presented appreciation certificates to Honorable Isa bin Saeed Al-Qayyumi in recognition of his efforts during his work period in the customs. The organization also granted similar appreciation certificates to a number of officers working in the field of customs computing. The Oman oil price March delivery reached $25.40 per barrel. Dubai Mercantile Exchange said that the price of Oman oil declined $1.46 from the price of yesterday, which was $26.86 per barrel. The average price of Oman oil February delivery has stabilized at $34.59, thus $7.70 per barrel lower than January delivery 2016. The Municipal Council in the Governorate of South Batna discussed in its meeting citizens' comments on projects of Wadi Bani Souk Bridge in the Wilaya of Rostaq. The members visited the delayed project of a bridge as a result of a change of its route to assess the situation. Construction of Wadi Al-Thaila Dam in the Wilaya of Dhank and discussion of environmental laws issues by the Ministry of Environment and Climate Affairs topped the points of the Municipal Council meeting in the Governorate of Dhahira. The Council reviewed also the minutes of the Committee of Health, Environmental and Social Affairs and the minutes of the Municipal Affairs in the Wilaya of Ibri. The meeting was chaired by Saif bin Hamir Al-Malik Al-Shihi, Governor of Al-Dhahira. The Municipal Council in the Governorate of South Sharqiya discussed in its meeting to send the subject of schemes of land uses in Sur City, Khor al-Bata, in the Ministry of Housing. The meeting also discussed to allocate a place for camel shelter in the Wilaya of Mazira, as well as the consultancy study results of the public park in the Wilaya of Sur. The Municipal Council reviewed a visual show presented by Artilla Company related to water park location in Sur, in addition to show presented by Qatar, their company, and Umran Company on developing Niabat Ras Al Had in the Wilaya. Now for the general weather forecast. Clear skies will prevail over the Sultanate with chances of low clouds and fog late night and early morning in the governorates of Wusta, Dhofar, South and North Sharqiya and coastal areas overlooking Sea of Oman and Arabian Sea. Winds will be easterly to southeasterly light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1 meter. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Sultanate is ranked 16th among the fastest growing tourist destinations as per the United Nations World Tourism Organization. "18 physicians are taking part in the competition of Oman Medical Specialty Board. The Shura Council Office discusses ministerial responses on the percentage of the contribution of free zones in gross domestic product and classified private sector companies. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here in the studios and the newsroom, it's good night.